Hey, what's up? Good Friday, July 5th, everybody. Hopefully you guys had a great 4th of July. It's your buddy Choppadong, and I'm coming at you with a quick tip type video for you for your Friday to kick off this weekend. And I had one announcement that I want to put kind of back towards the end if I remember to get it to you. So let's dive in and talk MLB DFS. It's the sport that I typically play this time of year, and we're headed up for All-Star break next week, so we're going to want to finish this first half off with a bang. I get asked, what key stats do you like to look at? And so I'm going to show you those right after I let you know that DFSArmy.com is the one-stop shop for anything daily fantasy sports, MMA, PGA, NASCAR, any of it. You can follow us out on Twitter. You can follow me at Choppadong. You can always click the link in the description of the video, DFSArmy.com. Use the coupon code CHOP, CHOP, to trigger that 10%. I guess it's a 20% discount. Where's that 10% come from? You'd think that habitually I'd have that one just rolling off the tongue, but you know, sometimes the mind wanders when I'm trying to remember everything that I want to show you guys. So let's jump out there. Obviously, like, subscribe to the videos, ring the notification bell so more drop to your phone when we release them, and we're going to try and keep this one as short as possible today. So where do I go? I go to the MLB Research Station. We have a lot of great things, and I will expand on these probably after the All-Star break, but we have coaching's picks pages. We have a tiers sheet if you like to play tiers. We have a Carnage report, which is a really cool number. The Research Station, which is where I usually focus. Starting lineups page, which also has a lot of great numbers, StatCast type data in it. So those are all great places for you to do some research and compile your picks for the day. I just focus in here on the Research Station. So apologize while it loads a little bit slow. But I wanted to show you some of the key stats and where I go to find them. The first thing I typically do is I head over here into the little 3-dot area, grab the starting pitching matchups. I always try to start with my pitching first, and then find the bad pitching, and then that will help direct me to the offenses that I want to stack, and then I will find the bats inside those offenses that I want to use in my stacks, and that logically to me flows, makes for a nice repeatable process where I can go day after day after day, look for the same numbers. So what numbers do I look at? Well, for pitching, I look in here in Chop Shop K-score. Strikeout upside is what matters to me. I will then scroll over, look at the Vegas information for who also is a heavy favorite. That helps me start breaking ties. I want the highest strikeout pitcher facing the highest strikeout team that I can find. And then I want Vegas supporting that idea with strong favorites. I will scroll back over here to the bullpen section a little bit and start looking at if they are in line to get the win, who is likely to hold on to that win for their team and get my pitcher that win. That helps me some too. Again, breaking ties. I'm mostly focused on that K-score number. Then we'll slide all the way back over here and start looking at the salary data because I want to pay as little as I can for pitching and get the best possible result. I want a high floor and I want a high ceiling, but I want a pitcher whose matchup dictates he's in that spot for both. And I want to pay as little as I can for the best in that area, not the best of all of the pitchers, but the best monetary or fiscal sense for me in a salary cap game, because I also have to think about my bats. And when I'm thinking about my bats, it's the other half of the team. So I want a well-rounded team. I don't want to go all the way up in pitching and handicap myself to where I only can take from crappy bats. I want to be able to balance it out and use the best of both worlds. That's how my mind thinks. Yours might be more star and scrub or whatever, but that's how my mind thinks. So that's what I try to formulate as I'm building my lineups. So I may look at some of these pitchers and automatically a Greinke or an Erod or Eduardo Rodriguez might stand out to me because they're a little bit less expensive than some of these guys. So I'm going to look at the cost comparison. Is Vegas supporting the win for that team? Is the strikeout potential up there? And then, of course, the bullpen, can it hold the lead? What about maybe even W score, which you saw in the K score area? How is the other team hitting against them? All these little bitty things I'm going to start to kind of look at and say, okay, I can take that chance to save $2,000. What do I do with the bats? I start by finding bad pitching. I use the overall metric of DFSA grade. I sort it by ascending so that it brings the crap to the top. And now I'm targeting these bad pitchers. I flip it on its head. I'm targeting these bad pitchers, anything under about a 30. There's a lot of bad pitching on the slate today. Look at that. My goodness, half of them. Keller and up. So what I'm going to do is start looking at who are these teams that they're facing. Boston, New York, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, LA, Oakland, Seattle. These are all teams I'm going to be considering stacking. Now I have to sift through the muck and I have to start weeding people out. And this is a volatile game. I may cut 3 teams off the list, and those may be the 3 teams that scored 10 runs. It happens. But over the long run, if we kind of filter out who's the best of the best and stick with those and target them heavily, over the long run, it typically pans out. I'm coming over here now to look at not only DFSA grade, but I'm looking at these bad pitching numbers. I want numbers like Sierra. Sierra is indicative of a high ERA type pitcher. It's a pitcher that should be pitching to this for his ERA. So a 6 for Gregory Soto is not good. A 5 for Brendan McKay and Zach Davies is not good. A 5 for Kikuchi is not good. Upwards of 5s for these guys. So again, lots of targets. This is why these guys are carrying low DFSA grades, is they have high, getting smacked around metric numbers. I'm going to be looking at numbers like WHIP, walks plus hits per innings pitched, high numbers here. Again, red, the easiest way to look at it is pinks and reds are what you're looking for when it comes to bad pitching. And I'm going to try process of elimination. If I see red across the board here, I'm going to be targeting Gregory Soto. If I see red mostly across the board here, I might be targeting, a Pomeranz. If I see a big severe number like this 1.99 in the home run per 9 total, I might be taking one-offs or a stack from this game against Voth. So let me look at who he's facing. Kansas City. So that might be a Jorge Soler, a Whit Merrifield, a Cuthbert. I might be looking at guys like that can hit the ball. O'Hearn if he gets a start or whatever. Names that can get Maldonado if he's still hot. Names like that can get the ball over the wall perhaps, because this guy tends to give them up. The other thing that I will do, I'll come over to the batter matchup tab. And if you followed me, you know I love this 200 on 200 metric. Now this is not, I'm still targeting those teams, but I'm going to see if anybody starts popping on this list. The ISO number that the pitcher gives up helps me determine that he struggles with giving up power. He struggles with keeping the ball in the ballpark. And so when I see a 320 for this pitcher, Gregory Soto, hello, facing Boston, I'm looking for what Boston bats also hit the ball over the wall. JD Martinez, Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts has a 217 ISO, which most people wouldn't think, against left-handed pitching. That's a good number. It's a good number to stack. 308 all the way down here with Chavis. So if you stacked up in a tournament Martinez, Betts, Bogaerts, and Chavis, you're not on the wrong track. You have a pitcher, and that's going to be a small sample, I'm sure, to carry a number like this, but you've got a pitcher that is having power trouble keeping the ball in the yard and is facing a team that tends to hit the ball over the wall. And I'll scroll down this whole list, and I'll put names like Grichuk on my list. 198 is close. Teoscar Hernandez. Scroll down a little bit more. I'm just going to start writing these names down as I go. The other thing that I will do in this particular area is sometimes I will sort by DFSA grade. And I will just simply go position by position. I know this isn't a key stat, but if I want to know what the top 5 third basemen are, Wendell, Miller, Longoria, LeMahieu, whatever, I might take from this for some one-offs. I'm going to target a team stack of, say, Boston, and then I'm going to be looking in here for value. If I can find me a Wendell in the starting lineup tonight or a Brad Miller, that would be a bonus. That would be great because they're in a great spot DFSA grade-wise for third baseman. The other thing that I'm going to do is dip into the Trends tab, and this is where the actual metrics come into play. WOBA is one of my favorites. I actually like OPS, but it's very similar to WOBA. It's a weighted on-base average, and OPS is on-base plus slugging. They kind of tell the same story if you know what numbers to look for. In WOBA, we look for a 400, and in OPS, we look for 1,000. But I often, when I'm looking at OPS, I drop down to 900-ish. And when I'm dropping down to 900-ish, I have found that's equivalent to about a 380 WOBA. So if I'm searching by WOBA, and I filter this out or descend this order on all these positions and find the hottest bats, I may then go in here and want to only look at guys. I think this is a little bit too restrictive. You don't want to necessarily cut down too much, but 380 and above. Maybe there's a great guy that rounds out a stack for me at a 377. I shouldn't cut that guy out just because I drew the line at 380. I think that might be a little bit irresponsible. But the basic idea is now I can filter this out to where I'm only dealing with 380s and above. That's about a 900 OPS. I can scroll over a little bit more. and I can find ISO numbers. 200 is elite there. If I wanted to find who's hitting for the most power lately, I can search this right here. And I know I'm going to get small sample sizes, but that's the whole point. I'm trying to find hot hitters in offenses I like. So who's hitting the ball over the wall? New York, St. Louis. There's a St. Louis power hitter in Wieters if he gets the start. Probably won't get the start. But I would love to see some Boston guys popping in here. Devers is about it on the tops of this page. A lot of these guys are out hitting the power numbers, pure power numbers, than Boston. But these are the kinds of things where I go through and I formulate my system, my process of eliminating players. My process is usually targeting players, but it's targeting players by eliminating other players. Hopefully you're starting to get a hint there and you're starting to see how we can use these tools to build better lineups. I would love to describe more of this to you as members, but you've got to become a member first. So you've got to join the DFS Army down there in the description tab. Click the link, use the coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P, get that 20% off discount. Get in here and start asking questions. Start following a process by a successful player, and we have a handful of them all day. Might not be me that you like. It might be somebody else that you like that you latch onto. That's great. I just want you to win. I just want you to become a better player because you're going to stick around and you're going to love the community like we love the community. You're going to become a part of it. You're going to get better at football and basketball and hockey and NASCAR and PGA by sticking around and learning all of the nuances of all of these different sports. If DFS is your hobby, DFS Army is the place you need to be. So jump on in, give me a like and a subscribe on this video, and I'd love to see you be a VIP today. Look forward to seeing you guys on the inside. That'll wrap up today's little quick tips about metrics that we like to look at, and hopefully that helps you guys a little bit on the outside. Take care.